So on the very day, I'm actually wearing my Blue Jay shirt. I've got a Blue Jay here. You still okay? God, please be alive. I found a hospital that we're going to. He's got ear holes on the sides and the top. I've been talking to him, and I think he probably knows me. I'm hoping he knows me and knows my voice. He doesn't live in the yard. He lives a ways, but I'm sure he lives close enough that he has to have come for Peanuts, and I have Peanuts in there with him. How you doing, sweetie? Okay, he's alive. He's alive. Okay, good boy. Good boy. Keep it up, sweetie. We're going to do it. Taking him to an emergency animal hospital that has rehabbers for birds, and they were even recommended by another awesome avian doctor on the other side of town. It is a whole lot easier finding someone to rehab a bird than a squirrel, so that was interesting. The problem with the avian doctor on the other side of town, even though they're so great, they don't do wild birds. So this one does that we're going to. All right, we're here. We're organizing our thoughts. Is he still moving? All right, he's moving. We're at the animal hospital, and he just almost seems like he's fading. I should get him in. It's just so hard because I'm telling him we're going to have to separate. We're not going to see each other again after this. I mean, he was calling out to me. I came by. I was going down the street, and he was calling out to me and looking at me like, help me, please. I was 2 streets away from the squirrel shack, the peanut mound. I'm sure he comes to the peanut mound and knows me. I kept going by, and he kept looking at me like, please, please. He was definitely going to be eaten by coyotes or foxes tonight if I just left him there. He couldn't even move. He was at the base of a tree. So he melted into me when I picked him up. It's so hard because I know this is the last we'll see each other, but I have to get him in there, and they said if they can help, they will rehab him. If not, unfortunately, they'll euthanize him, but I've prepared him that either way, it won't be dying in a coyote's mouth. And if he dies, wait for us. We will all see him again someday. Hopefully we'll all be together, all the squirrels and the birds and the YouTube viewers and all of us. I have Peanuts in here, but he's not interested. He's not eating them. I'm with you. Even after we separate, they're going to make us separate. But just remember, I'll be thinking of you so much. They're going to take you. Because supposedly it's because you're a quote-unquote wild bird, and they are not going to understand that we know each other. They're not going to get that. Fran, can you tell, is he alive? Would he be moving? Like, sometimes I think he's kind of moving his eyes. I don't know. I'm going to leave him here with water. He's got Peanuts in here. But he's not moving. Where did he go? He moved. No. Yeah? Or did he? Maybe he didn't. Are you alive? I don't think you are. But you did not get eaten to death. If you died, which I think you did, died in peace. You're going to be the first bird in our cemetery. You little sweetie. All right, everybody's here. The gang's all here. I don't have everything put out yet. How would you guys like a little bit of food right here? Well, maybe I can put it near there. They're kind of walking me over to the food area anyway. This way, guys? Time for me to put the food out? Oh my God, look at that. I have more ducks than I thought. Mr. Brown Feet. Mr. Brown Feet. Ready for a nut? Well, I don't think this is looking good. I have him by the Hope Memorial. The water spilled when I walked him, and he hasn't moved. But I have it open so that he's with the gang one last time. I'm pretty sure these are his people. Blue jays come here in droves. And, droves isn't usually just one, but there is usually more than one blue jay here. And I'm pretty sure this guy knew me because what happened, full story, I was walking around and I was talking to this woman down the street from where this was going on. And while I was speaking with her, I heard blue jays screaming. I registered it. And as I come down the street, it was I've never seen anything like this. So this one was on the ground, flopping around, trying to fly with what I thought at the time was just a broken wing. Now I don't know. And then there was another bird above him that was screaming and looking at me insistently, like, do something. And this one was looking at me, both scared and hopeful. Like, I don't even know how, literally those two things, like, please don't hurt me and please help me, was the look in his eyes. I could just feel it, you know? I had to go home and get myself together. I've never done anything with a bird before. Never touched one or interacted in any way, and I was really afraid of him biting me. At the time, he was much more mobile. He was flopping around and desperately trying to fly, and just kept crashing. And it took, I won't go into the whole thing, but it took a lot to get him. At one point, there was a policeman who, I don't know if somebody called him, you know, and thought that I was like casing the house. So I kept coming around and looking, trying to find him, because he was moving at that point. Like, every time I'd come, he'd be in a different spot. And I don't know if some neighbors got weirded out and called the police, because then there's a police car that sat there for the longest time. And I didn't know what was up with that, so I waited for him to leave. So then finally or was it some other domestic problem? I didn't know, so I didn't want to be in the way. So I finally was able to get him. He's getting wet. The fact that he's not even moving, this isn't good. All right, he's out of the wet box, and he's still not moving. I think I'm gonna call it, but I'm gonna give him a little more time. I don't know what. I don't know how to. He's not moving. I do this with squirrels too. I'm so afraid of burying someone alive. So I'm gonna leave him here for a little bit. He's in the sun. He's got friends. I guess I'll have to dig a grave. I have a busy work schedule today. Death always comes first. It just does. The whole hospital thing was a fiasco. What happened was, I got there, you know, after calling around, and you find a place. Oh yeah, we'll take them in. I go there. Then they apologized to me when I got there and said, who told you that on the phone? Because they're like, well, the first lady that started to take me in, I think she was the one, because she had no problem. She was like, just fill this form out, you're all set. And then this other lady came along. She's like, who told you we could take wild birds? She said there's this avian flu thing that's on the uptick, and she said we treat people's pets here like parrots and such, and she's like, we can't even have them in here. So she gave me a list of rehabbers, which she said by this point it was like 9:30 to 10 o'clock. So she said everywhere's going to be closed, you'll have to call tomorrow. And now, of course, he didn't make it through the night. And maybe that would have been the same ending anyway. Like, maybe a rehabber would have been like, he's never going to make it, we have to put him down. He had me, I think it was with me. I kind of think he was dead by the time, right around the time for his stay in the garage. I figure let's take him closer to where he lives, in case there's some part of him that realizes that. Well, he's out there with everybody. One last time. I feel so bad for his family. The one that was there, I don't know if this is a male or a female, but there was another one that hung out on a branch above where he was on the ground. He couldn't get off the ground, and was just looking at him and looking at me and looking at him and looking at me like, please help. I feel so bad. You're gonna have to pay your last respects, okay, White Tip? This is so morbid, but I keep boxes here for this kind of thing, because I find, typically it's because I find like a squirrel, not that I do much, maybe once, maybe twice a year, but find a squirrel in the road. Never for a bird before, but I'm glad I had what I had. And I also bought towels for this place, specifically for this person, because you got to pick them up somehow. And after I do, I tend to bury them with the towels so they have something comfortable to lay in and not get dirt all over them when they're underground. Now I have to be an undertaker. It's such a community here. I don't like to separate anyone without giving everyone a chance to say goodbye. I can. Now in the winter, it's another story. It's hard, but in the times like this, it's like, all right, let's let everyone acclimate to the fact that we're one less now. And anyone who knows them, they can say their last goodbyes while I dig the hole and hope that I don't have a meeting starting soon, but I've got to check that. Yes, I have Undertaker shoes. Such is the life. These are my Undertaker shoes. Who started this idea that if something's dead, we put it back underground like it's going to preserve there or something? I don't know why this is the thing, but this is the thing. So this is the cemetery. This is the first bird. I really should figure out a way to do markers. This one's 2 packs. I was going to make it temporary like that, but I like that it's big and different, and I'll never forget. That's 2 pack. Anyway, this one will be our first bird. There's chipmunks. There's a couple chipmunks in here. Like this one is a chipmunk that I found in the road where this bird was. He wasn't in the road, but she was in the road very near where I found him. I have a 2-hour meeting starting in, I think, an hour, so I can easily bury him in an hour. So I'm a little less worried, but the 2-hour meeting's a little bit of a pain. Got to build some VPN tunnels, and it's not going to go well because it hasn't gone well, which is why we set up a 2-hour meeting. I'm going to take the fact that he's still not moved as a sign that he's dead. It's so hard, because I think, who doesn't fear? I think when I was little, there was some kind of, that I saw, there's, as a little kid, you hear stories and, like horror stories, and then you start thinking about what if I got buried alive. I don't know, it's just been a thing that got put in my head as a kid, that you'd get buried alive and then be like, oh wait, I'm not really dead, and you're stuck in this coffin, and you're knocking, but nobody hears you because you're 6 feet underground. I used to be like, why do we bury people 6 feet underground? Because if they start knocking that they want to get out, who's going to hear them? So I did not want to get buried 6 feet underground. I was just not cool with the whole thing. So now it's hard for me to take someone and be like, okay, are they really, really dead? And just put them in the ground and throw dirt over them. I never thought this would be my role in life. I purposely did not choose becoming anybody to work with dead people, like mortician or whatever. That just never intrigued me, but here I am now, and I got to make the call on when somebody's dead and when to bury them and actually bury it and do it. And it's hard throwing that dirt on them. It's hard, but that's part of why I keep them in towels or a box so that they're not, hey Rover, yeah, he's dead, so that they're not directly in contact with the dirt, because I know it's crazy, but I feel like if they come back to life, I don't want them breathing dirt, But of course, if they come back to life, they're screwed anyway. It's just something I gotta do. I gotta make sure that the dirt's not in their mouth, in their eyes, like as if they're gonna see anyway but it's something I gotta do. All right, I told them I think we've passed the juncture. We've passed the juncture of the idea that he's alive. His eyes aren't open. He's not moving. He does look peaceful, so I'm happy about that. And he's wrapped up in these blankets, and then I'll wrap him in the bigger blanket, and away we'll go. Okay? For anyone who's curious, he's so soft. He's just so soft. He's just so soft. It's unbelievable. Even through the terry cloth or whatever it is. It's unbelievable what they feel like. I never knew. I was petting him last night. And then I read about avian flu, and it doesn't transmit like from you know, hands. It said just wash your hands. So it's not like it's going to come through my skin if he had, but I don't think he did. I mean, he died of mechanical failure, not illness. Oh, poor guy. And it said it's an extremely low chance of ever spreading to a human anyway. So, yeah. They even said that at the vet. They're not worried about their patients. They said they're only worried about avian flu transmitting from like a wild bird to one of their patients' birds, not to humans. So yeah, but anyway, he's so soft, but he's not moving. So I think it's time. I think it is. I'm leaving him just a little more with his friends because I've got time before my meeting. The reason I'm not more sad than I am, this is Mr. Brownfeet, he's standing up. The reason I'm not more sad than I am is when I finally managed to pick him up last night. And by that I mean dealing with policemen hovering and whatever. He couldn't even move. He was laying, speaking of which, I don't know if I've updated on this guy. This is Leany Head. He now has lost his tail, but he's still doing okay. And when I managed to pick him up, he was just laying there, basically just waiting for someone to come eat him. He could not move at all. So I told him last night in the car, like, whatever happens from here, you're not going to be savagely eaten to death, eaten alive. So that much I told him I can assure you. And sure enough, we're handling it. But that's why it's sad that he died. But he didn't die tragically. He died safely, calmly, passed, you know, in a nice safe box. They say they like it dark. It was dark in a box. It had a lot of air holes in it. I don't know if that's the sound. Sometimes people say they think they hear hawks in the background, but there's a lot of blue jays here that make sounds that sound like raptors on purpose. So yeah, like, I don't know if this right now is the sound that they were talking about when they thought that, but this is not hawks or raptors. It's just blue jays. Anyway, this guy isn't going to be screeching out any more raptor sounds because they're smart and they know that's how you keep them away. See, it's funny, they kind of just don't regard the dead. I've done this with a few animals. Other animals just, it's like they recognize he's not life anymore. He's so peaceful, you know. All right, he is well wrapped, so he's peaceful in those nice two soft terry cloth things, and then this towel's around him. He's well wrapped. He will not be getting dirt in his eyes, in his beak, anything. He's all nice and comfy, clean. All right, sweetie, this is your send-off. We're all gonna miss you, but we're gonna see you again. Wait for us up there. You've got a bunch of squirrels and chipmunks waiting on you, so look for them and wait for all of us, okay? Well, there's the latest. I don't know what is going to happen when I'm 106 and I still work and I come here and I'm still working remotely and God knows what this place is going to look like. But one thing I think is cool is the squirrels. They hang out in the cemetery here. There's plenty of evidence to show that they just sit in this nice, peaceful place with their lost brothers, sisters, mothers, cousins, and just peacefully nibble. Nice. So, not forgotten.